Hey Datsun fans, Jeff Shoesmith from Sydney, Australia with our latest Datsun challenge. The engine we're starting up today is an L18. It's an overhead cam engine. It comes from the Datsun 180B here in Australia, also known as the 610 or the Bluebird in other parts of the world. Picked up this engine fairly recently from the south coast of New South Wales. It's been sitting around for quite some time. I can see some writing here on the oil filter that looks like around about September 2008 could have been the last time this guy saw a service. It came to me with some oil on the dipstick, so that's a good sign. It's not completely black, so using the 2008 spec oil we'll see if we can get this thing running. Now you might notice there's a couple of changes to the test jig since last time I did a video. This time we've improved the structural rigidity of our test jig. We're using a skateboard courtesy of Dylan. Dylan lives at number 14 and he kindly donated his skateboard for the job. We've got a fuel system which is a jerry can. Well, it's actually not a jerry can, it's a spring water bottle. The Northbrook spring water, it's good stuff. It can contain petrol without rotting through. I've had the petrol in there for quite a few months now, so if you're looking for a cheap jerry can, that could be the bottle for you. Now we've got it plugged into a Bluebird electric fuel pump, which then plumbs across to the carburetor. Now it's a fairly stock carburetor on this one. I think it might have been rebuilt at some time in recent history. In fact, the whole engine has been allegedly rebuilt sometime in its life. So I think I've got a bit of a bargain on this one. The ignition we're using is an electronic ignition. The distributor's from a Bluebird Series 2, as is the coil. That's an electronic ignition coil. So we haven't actually got the water pump or the alternator hooked up today because there's no water in the engine. As you can see, it would be a bit of a challenge to keep the water in. We're going to connect up a battery and see if it goes. Now, I've got a battery over here in my 1600 wagon. Don't have an engine in it at the moment, but do have a battery. So we'll connect it up. That sounds like the fuel pump's working. We'll give it a squirt of the good old start you bastard. And then we'll crank it up with the remote starter that comes with this incredibly good quality Lumen 3-piece test and tune-up kit. Can you remember those things? So give the carby a quick squirt onto the remote starter. And here we go. Stand back. Looks like it wants to go. Have another go, hopefully with fuel this time. Maybe third time lucky. Needs a bit of tuning, but we've got a goer.